You are now listening to The Perfect Prana with Kyah Ann. What's poppin'? What's good? You're listening to The Perfect Prana Show on 88.1 FM WCRX, Saturdays at 10 a.m., Sundays at 9 a.m. I'm Kyah Ann, your host and a yoga enthusiast. If you love yoga, this is the perfect place to be. And if you do not love yoga, this is still the perfect place to be because I have a great show up for you guys today. Of course, the yoga news, where I speak about what's going on in the world, how it relates to yoga, Yoga Heals, where I bring on a very special guest, and the weekly wellness challenge, where I have been following the 8 limbs of yoga. But before we get into all of that, let's center ourselves. Let's take this moment to go inward. Just calm down for a minute. Relax our nervous system. So no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, you're at the park, you're driving your car, you're laying in bed, you're sitting on the couch, no matter where you're at, go ahead and take this moment to lengthen out your spine. Create a nice line of energy from your tailbone to your crown. You're standing, stand up nice and tall. If you're sitting, just come onto your sit bones. And if you're laying down, lay your back fully onto the surface. Your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, so breath can effortlessly move through you. Begin to notice your breath. What is your breath doing? Where is it going? And then take your last breath of your own and exhale, completely pushing out all the air. And then with me, take a nice smooth inhale through your nose, filling up all the way. And then exhale with that loud sigh, like emptying completely. Inhale through your nose, right into your belly, pass through your rib cage, into your chest, and hold. And then exhale with that loud sigh, like inhale through your nose, filling up your belly like a balloon, and hold at the top. And then exhale, deflating your belly, pushing out all the breath, and hold at the bottom. Inhale through your nose, right into your belly, past your rib cage, up to your chest. And then exhale, sigh it out, emptying out your belly completely, emptying out the breath. Let your breath come back to a steady rhythm. I am centered. Let's get on with the show. Yoga news. So this week I discovered something that I wasn't expecting. Naked yoga. Montana studio touts the benefits of naked yoga. This is actually a pretty old article, but I just came across it and I was like, naked yoga? Like, people go to classes and practice yoga naked? Like, what? Like, why? Apparently this is supposed to be great for boosting body confidence, building community, and releasing trauma from the body. I guess I can understand practicing yoga naked, like if you want to do that alone, but going to a studio to practice yoga naked is crazy. Like, with other people around, like, why do I don't want to say, I don't want to say never, but in this case, I'm going to say never. I'm never going to go to a naked yoga class, because if somebody farts, I'm suing. I already hate going to a yoga class where people are farting, because I'm like, oh my gosh. But I will say that I've had people fart in my class, and I feel like it's a compliment, because it's like, okay, I got you so relaxed that you release gas, like, pat on my back. But no, seriously, like, no, I don't want to go to a naked yoga class. That's interesting. No judgment on them, because it's not meant to be a sexual thing. They say, like, don't sexualize people, don't judge people that go to this. It's just crazy that is a way that people like to build community. Personally, I don't want to be around anybody naked that I'm not romantic with at this point in my life. Like, I don't need to be naked around people. Partially, practically, just like for sanitation reasons, like clothes are nice. And I don't know, that's just extremely vulnerable. Even being naked in a locker room, even around just a bunch of women, it's a little uncomfortable for me. I don't know what the correct answer is to building confidence and high self-esteem and releasing trauma and improving body image. Like, I don't have the answers. Like, I'm trying what I try and seeing what works for me, but something different might work for somebody else, so who knows. But I just don't think that being naked around people is the answer. Ooh, this feels so good to be around all these people. Yeah, I just don't think that's the answer for me and my self-image or body image issues. But some people like going to a nudist beach because of that same freeing feeling. Yeah, I think there are benefits to being naked sometimes and just being comfortable with your body. Like, everybody knows about the study that was put out about sleeping naked and how that might be good for your health. But I do think it is important to sometimes to just be in your body. But for me personally, in my own privacy is when I like that the most. But I will say, you know what I feel like has been really healing for my issues with my body and how uncomfortable I am in my body is practicing yoga alone. And maybe not necessarily naked, but just practicing alone, because I can look as stupid as I want. And then also I can just breathe fully. I notice sometimes when I'm in public or when I'm around a lot of people, I have the strong urge to suck my belly in, which is restrictive to my breathing. I'm always in this constant state of sucking in, which is not good for your health. Don't do that. It's not good for your health. I've heard it could cause issues with your pelvic floor, and again, it doesn't allow you to get a full breath. So I will say, at home, I'm more inclined to just let my belly go completely, and it's something I'm always kind of reminding myself, like, let it go. You don't have to suck it in. I literally just did it right now as I'm talking. Like, I literally was like, let my belly go. Like, I don't have to suck in, I don't have to suck in front of people. That's just my own insecurities and shame. But I definitely don't have to do it when I'm alone, because it's like nobody's around. Like, the only person judging myself is me. So like, just let it go. Breathe into your belly. Let it go fully. Relax. Anyways, this whole body image, boosting confidence, naked yoga conversation got me on the whole self-image train of thought, because I've struggled with it and a lot of people struggle with it. I mean, we have people going to naked yoga classes and doing things to help boost their confidence, and that's their solution for that. I'm not judging that at all. Like, what works for you is what works for you. But it did get me thinking about what caused my poor self-image and But it did get me thinking, though, what caused my poor self-image? What was the cause of that for me and for many others? And it kind of led back to the lack of attention or receiving negative attention for me. I mean, we all live in this world where we've been presented with marketing and propaganda and all kinds of things just thrown at us about what's acceptable, what's above average, what's below average. Like, we've all been presented with stuff like that, but some people have an okay self-image, have a good self-image, while others are over here struggling. What's the difference between me and those people that don't have self-image issues? It's attention. Like, everybody needs attention, all children need attention. We need attention. Like, that is part of our development into good human beings. But as I've gotten older and maybe a little bit more wiser, I've grown to realize that we're not supposed to want attention or seek attention after a certain point. And this idea is throughout so many philosophies and religions. And I'm sorry if you're not like a religious person, but like, seriously, this piece of wisdom is throughout so many philosophies, lines of thought. And I could never make sense of it. Like, why? Why am I not supposed to seek attention? What about if I'm seeking attention for something positive or this or that? Like, I need attention. Why am I not supposed to seek it? I now realize the importance of detaching from attention, because nothing kills the ego more than not getting attention that we think that we deserve. I'm doing something, I think it's hot, and I'm like, this is about to get everybody looking, and everybody's gonna love it and compliment it. And then like, when they don't meet that expectation I had, then I'm like, oh, like, that's a blow to my ego, to my self-esteem, like, And non-attachment is a part of yoga. We did this in the yamas, a Pratyahara, non-attachment. Let your concern be with the action alone and never with the fruits of action. Krishna. I got this off the Eckhart Yoga website, of course, so I'll put it in the show notes. But anyways, I just was like thinking, if I operated from a place of never seeking attention, could that help boost my confidence or my self-esteem? Like, really checking in with my intention? Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Maybe that is the answer. Maybe that's the missing piece. Maybe that is why it's encouraged to practice modesty. Not in just what you wear, but just in how you behave. Just never seeking attention, never doing things for attention. I mean, a Pratyahara, it's kind of like being non-attached or detached from any outcome, but attention is part of that outcome. When we do things for attention and we get a lot of attention, then we're like on this high. If it's taken away from us, then we're on this low. So to be pretty even keel, like, I'm doing things because I love doing it, or I'm doing things because I want to help people. Like, I really think this would be of service to others, or I'm doing things because I don't know. But yeah, acting for the outcome, whether that be attention, whether that be a material possession, whether that be money, or whatever the case is, I'm learning it's just not the answers to life. That most people, when we act for the outcome and then we get the outcome, we still are like, something's missing. Or when we don't get the outcome, it's like kills us. If we do get it and then it's taken away, it kills. Like, I don't know. Acting for the outcome just does not seem to work in our favor. So really checking in with our intention is important. And I will say, I feel like social media kind of puts me and a lot of people in the state of mind of acting for an outcome. Yeah, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but I do see how with social media, it's just so easy to get wrapped up in likes and views and how many people interacted and maybe proving to people that you're gorgeous or that you're super talented or whatever the case is. Like, social media is the perfect world to foster attention seeking or outcome seeking. Like, you know, people will do so many things, so many crazy things for likes, for views. Man, being perceived is so exhausting, but I'm so grateful for practices like yoga because it does take that perception away, which we will get into that at the end of the episode in the weekly wellness challenge. But I'll say I feel my most confident when I am doing things that I love and or presenting myself in a way that I'm completely comfortable with, to move freely and to just where I just don't have to think twice about how I look. Like, that is when I feel the most comfortable. And that is why I locked my hair, because it made me have to think less about how I wear my hair. And it's like, my hair's already done. I don't have to think about how my hair looks today, or if the kink line bun got misplaced or whatever the case is. I don't have to think about that anymore. Like, my hair is the way that it is, it's done, period. And it's not about avoiding things that might attract attention or avoiding things that might attract money or might attract whatever outcome you wish to have. It's more so just about not letting that be the purpose for your whatever you do, or the intention for whatever you do. Kind of just like letting the outcome be whatever the outcome may be, but just still operating in a way that's true to you. Let me know, would you practice naked yoga? Let me know on Instagram at consistently Kyah, consistently spelled with a K, Kyah spelled Kyah. I will not judge you. It is okay. If that helps you build confidence or helps your self-image issues, I honestly want to talk to people that practice naked yoga or like go to a naked yoga class, or even nudist beach. Like, why? Like, what about it is, what is this? Like, I have questions for some of those people just out of genuine curiosity. Yoga Heals. This week's Yoga Heals. It's a little bit different this week because I am bringing on Dionne Milton, who is a breathwork facilitator, an artist, an educator, and the co-founder of the Healing Academy, a nonprofit organization that is working to transform urban communities through education about emotional maturity, the importance of African American history, and in helping individuals cultivate their artistic self. Thank you so much for coming on to the Perfect Prana Show to talk about the Healing Academy. I'm so happy and blessed that you are here with me today.
I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for asking me to join you.
I read that there are 6 pillars for your mission and areas that you all are focusing on. Could you talk about those 6 pillars and how you guys address each one of those pillars?
Absolutely. So we have 6 pillars that we focus on, as you mentioned. Literacy is where it was born. Some people may know or may not know that the literacy rate of Chicago is pretty low. In middle school, about 12 to 16%, I can't remember the exact number, are reading on level and doing math on level. So that means the rest of the kids are not. And that means also that once Chicagoans become adult, about 53%, somewhere around there, can actually read, and on an acceptable level, which is at 3rd grade level. So literacy is something we are passionate about. That means we're doing all types of social emotional literacy, all types of financial literacy, also just learning how to read literacy. And that takes form in different ways. History is one of our pillars because it's important to know where we came from, to know where we're going. let me scratch that. It's important to know where we came from to understand where we are so that we can know where we're going. And so history is kind of one of our grounding pillars. Health, and that's physical and mental health, because some people, think they're not connected or not the same, but they're very, very much so intertwined. And we like to address both elements of health. Then, of course, we have to talk about social emotional learning, which is also a part of health, but also more in the mental space, in which we're paying close attention to how are people learning about themselves, how they're learning about the world around them, how they're adapting and being involved with the world around them. We really, really want to understand social emotional learning for that reason. And then spirituality is important to us because it's important to ground ourselves in the things, even there's going to be things that are the unknown, right? Even in science, where there's supposed to be facts, there's a lot of space of, well, it just is what it is. It's like, okay, well, we're having faith in your science. There's even spiritual elements in science. So we believe that everybody has their own spiritual practice. There's no one way for you know what I mean? Like, it's everybody has their spiritual practice. So there's no like, oh, you have to be Christian or Muslim or anything else that might be out there. No, everybody's accepted as they are, as long as you believe that life exists. If we can agree to that, we're good. Visual and performing art is the thing that actually brought the three co-founders together. We were all artists, both visual and performing artists, and we have identified the healing properties in art in ourselves. So that's something that we want to share with the world around us. Myself, I am the founder or the creator of the Therapeutic Art Box, in which you walk through your chakras, your body, your mind with creative experiences. So that in a nutshell is our 6 pillars: social emotional learning, literacy, history, spirituality, visual and performing art, and health. And we address those things in so many different ways, from workshops to after school programs to panel discussions to community events and fairs as well.
It's obvious that there is a need for all of these pillars to be learned beyond school. So, how do you reach the people in need of your services and just of these 6 pillars?
Well, we do a lot of partnering with many different organizations, from the Chicago Public Schools to the Chicago Park District to the Chicago Police Department. We partner because we understand that, one, we can't do all of this by ourselves. It's a lot. And two, there's many, many organizations out there doing the work as well. So why not work together on these very large scale problems that are affecting us in various ways? So we just do a lot of partnering, and that tends to bring us to a bunch of people, create a large audience for us, as well as for those folks who are partnering with us, they expose their services and products to our community as well.
Could you talk a little bit about more anecdotal stories or situations where you've seen how this organization has impacted the community?
Oh, yes. One of my favorite stories. Well, I have two. I'll tell my favorite story and then I'll tell a recent story. One of my favorite stories is when we were doing an after school program at Art in Motion. We were offering our therapeutic arts program, in which the students, like I mentioned, walk through the different spaces of their lives in which they may have experienced stressful things, and then they practice some activities to heal. So one young lady, at the same time, I was a full-time teacher at that school. So I saw this child during the day, all school year. And during that school year, she was really reclusive. I'm talking a hood on her head, all wrapped up in the corner, same hoodie every day. When she did take her hoodie off, you can tell there was low maintenance on like self-care and things like that. So I'm like, I tried different ways, but being in a classroom with 30 plus kids, it was really, really difficult to target her. And especially because she was so quiet and there were so many loud ones around. Those are the quiet ones tend to be the ones that slip through the crack. Well, I had the blessing and honor of being able to do this after school program in which myself and another teacher, he actually led most of the class, but I had the opportunity to observe. And over time, she just came out of her shell and she started to talk more. And then, being her science teacher during the day, I saw her shifting in the classroom, getting more involved in class, answering questions, raising her hand. And this is all after having experienced this after school program, to the point where towards the end of the year, she had clothes that fit her on, and she had started to care about her appearance and caring about her hair and taking care of her body. And I to this day, that one story is the one that moves me, that this young lady went through the whole school year really reclusive, and all it took was one after school program for her to come out of her shell and speak up for herself, because at the end of it, she was speaking up for herself, telling people what was right and wrong morally. I was like, whoa. This is a complete turnaround.
Yeah.
That's my favorite story.
No, that's amazing progress. And it is important that we can help as many people come out because you just never know what they have to offer or who they'll be one day. And if we're constantly like stuck in our shell, then how can we share that with the world? Or one of my next questions for you is just about what you envision for this organization and for the community within the next couple of years.
Well, we're definitely shifting the culture around healing. What that means is like a lot there's so much stigma around like mental health in the Black community. There's so much stigma, and that is shifting. That is definitely shifting, especially with the younger generations coming in. But there's so much stigma even still around going to the doctor, right? And getting going to the dentist, like all these things. So we're really, really through education and are hoping to shift people's mindset, even thinking about policy changes and how schools are even set up. Our idea is that we can provide an alternative to the public school system because, as we know, it is not serving all of our kids equitably. We also know that in addition to the schools failing our kids, there are supports that their parents need. So basically, over the next few years, our goal is to increase the amount of children that we're serving, as well as increasing the interactions with their parents and serving their parents. And what that looks like is providing enrichment to homeschoolers, in addition to serving more Chicago public schools, in addition to making sure that we have touch points with the parents of those students. We definitely are going to be doing a lot of capacity building for that reason, because what we find is that it's a lot of work. Point blank, that's it. It's just a lot of work, and we can have all the apps and all the different things in place. At the end of the day, certain things need a human touch, and we need to have the capacity to carry the load. So at that time, that's the vision I see. I see the Healing Academy expanding to having more outreach, having people in place for development director, because also with this organization still being fairly young, the board and myself, we do most of the workload. We bring in guest instructors and things like that from time to time, but for the most part, we carry the load. So at this point, we're looking to expand in order to reach more people, to organize and partner with more organizations, and to provide these services to more people.
How can people get involved with your organization and
Oh,
they're a part of the community?
there are so many ways. So we're always looking for volunteers for the various things that we do. We have lots of events. If you follow us at We Heal Heal, that's We WeHealHeal. So if you follow us at We Heal Heal, you can find out more about the things that we're doing. If you visit our website, wehealheal.org, you can find out more about the things that we're doing. If you're an artist, we have a gala coming up this year. You can submit your artwork to the gala. I do believe that application is live, but if it's not, reach out to us and we'll make sure you get it. You can donate your time, you could donate your funds, you could donate anything like learning materials. If you want to get involved, you can reach out to us at We Heal Heal everywhere. That's We Heal Heal at Gmail. wehealheal.org and at We Heal Heal on Instagram and on Facebook. Volunteers, donations, board members, instructors, development directors, outreach directors. These are the folks we're looking for.
Yes, I'll make sure to put your website and your socials in the show notes. So, I wanted to shift gears a little bit and ask you just a little bit more about your personal practices. As this is the yoga podcast, and normally what I ask people that come on the show is, when did you start practicing yoga and why do you still practice today? And I wanted to shift this more into breath work and pranayama because I see that you facilitate breath work. So, when did you start practicing that mindfulness? Yeah.
Yeah, so the mindfulness, I actually was doing yoga back in like freshman year of high school because I was like, oh, my mom was really into the workout tapes and I got a hold of one. And so that's kind of where I started with yoga. And my breath work practice started it started there, but like specifically like sit down meditation started, I want to say I was 19. And it came about with Rinzai Zen meditation. And basically that was the counting of the breaths and koan training, which is like it's a, what is it called? Like a rhyme or rhythm or something, some type of puzzle you have to solve with words, koan training. And so you just meditate on these things. And I really liked it until it became about the people and it was weird culturally, right? And I was just like, I'm good. I just came here to meditate. And I came across Vipassana meditation, which that's basically what I practice now, which is being very aware of the breath as it enters and exits the body and just sensation, being attentive to sensations. So that started in 2013, I believe, 2014, somewhere around there. And that's been my practice ever since. And now what I have done as my life has gotten a little busier, it's hard to sit for 2 hours a day. So I have mindfully thought about my breath throughout the day. Like as I'm driving, make sure I check in with my breath. When I feel myself, because now I've done it for so long, you can feel the chemicals moving in your body, the temperature changing in your body. It's like, oh, I'm getting irritated. Let me go back to my breaths. So that's kind of how I daily practice. Well, that's not, I also sit, but that's kind of my daily practice though when I can't sit. It's like making sure to still be mindful in my motions when I'm washing my dishes, when I'm typing on the computer. Whatever I'm doing, just trying to make sure my sensations I'm being very mindful. And that's how I got here and all this meditation and yoga jazz.
Yes. So it's kind of like you're microdosing meditation throughout the day, which
Yeah,
is important because, something is better than nothing.
absolutely.
Um, I've definitely been an all or nothing type of person in my life, and that never serves me because if it's nothing, then nothing will get done. So,
Exactly.
like, how can I weave this into my day so I'm still getting some benefit, still thriving, still, striving to be upright?
Mhm.
That is very, very important. And then I also, one of my questions that I love to ask my guest is, what is your mission or philosophy that guides you through life that you kind of keep at the forefront of your mind each day?
Every day I'm trying to be my best self and whatever that looks like. So some days I'm tired and I want to rest. So that my very best self is going to go lay down and get some rest. So I just believe that we can all achieve whatever we want. And all we have to do is want it, imagine the steps it takes to do it, and be happy with it. Like, and so being your very best self looks like whatever that looks like that day, but always striving to achieve the things that make you happy, the things that make you proud. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters to you. It's the things that make you happy, the things that make you proud. So That's kind of my end all be all. And then letting every action come from love. That's how I got through teaching middle schoolers. Let every thought and action come from love. That was my mantra. Because, life is life and they're human. We're all human and we have our personal experiences, and you never know what people are bringing to the table when they come to eat. But you do want them to leave with a happy and full belly. So just being prepared and aware, like, oh, okay, someone may be having a day today. Let me be mindful of myself and take my breaths and make sure I am being my very best self.
Hmm. No, I love that. What you said, doing from love, every action.
Let every thought and action come from love.
Yes, let every thought and action come from love. Is there any time where you feel like I'm withholding my love from people?
I'm gonna keep that. Let me think. Because also I'm gonna say no. I can't think of a time where I was like actively withholding, because I also believe that love looks different. So I'm not necessarily saying that let every thought and action come from love. And I'm like, butterflies and buttercups every day. No, sometimes love is creating space. So, okay, we need space. So I'm gonna love you from over here. And that's not sunshine and rainbows. And sometimes people don't like that. But that's the way I'm going to love them, so that I can preserve a positive relationship with this person, so that I can preserve my peace and my balance and me. I'm just going to love you by removing myself, so there are no problems here, because it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. That's
Yeah.
also my philosophy. Like, if there's a problem, let me just remove myself, because I might be the problem.
That is, all these situations are equations. And, if I'm a part of the equation, then possibly I am part of the problem. Uh, no, I just had to ask you that because, it's constantly a debate, not or just a conversation that I have with people, with my family. Like, does everybody deserve love? Like, and that's serious, because sometimes we don't, they say that love is unconditional, but like, is it really? Maybe we do only love people under these conditions. So it's important to talk about, well, what does love look like? And everybody needs to be loved differently. So, before we go, I'm going to ask you to lead us through pranayama.
All right. Well, I like to give people some disclaimers. If you are able to sit up nice and straight with your feet flat on the floor. And if you can roll your shoulders back, up and back, bringing your heart forward and allowing your spine to support you and being straight. If you can close your eyes, feel free to. But if you can't close your eyes, just allow the gaze to be relaxed, not staring at any one thing in particular. We're going to start by taking 3 clearing breaths. That's in through the nose, out audibly through the mouth, like so. 2 more. Now allow your breath to return to its natural state, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. And as you're breathing, bring your awareness to the area right beneath the nostrils. Pay attention to the air when you inhale as it travels through the nostrils. Experience the sensation of the warm breath as the air exits the nostrils. Experience the sensation of the cool air as the air enters the nostrils. Feel the air entering and exiting the body as it brushes gently over the top of your lip. Pay attention to any sensations you feel around the nose, beneath the nostrils. Just allow yourself to breathe for a few minutes. If you feel your mind wandering, bring it back gently to the breath as it enters and exits the body. Allowing your body to relax, let us do a quick scan of the body, starting at the crown of the head. Pay close attention to any sensations you feel as you move from the crown of your head down, down, down your body. Make no effort to adjust or correct anything. Just observe, being aware of any sensations, any warmth of your clothing, any coolness of the air coming in contact with your skin. Paying close attention, move your awareness down your body, down your chest, your back, down, down, down to the soles of your feet. Start to move your awareness back up the body, back through the body, up, up, up. Gently following all the parts of the body, from the knees to the hips, to the lower back, to the abdomen. Paying close attention to any sensations you feel. Move your awareness all the way back to the crown of your head. Taking a few breaths in through the nostrils, out through the nostrils. When you're ready to come back, start to wiggle the toes and the fingers and blink your eyes open. Thank you.
Thank you. You have me so still for a moment where it was like, whoa. Thank you so much, Dionne, for coming on my show. With that being said, namaste.
Namaste.
You're listening to The Perfect Prana Show on 88.1 FM WCRX, Saturdays at 10 a.m., Sundays at 9 a.m. Also available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, where I post extended versions. Weekly Wellness Challenge. Last week's challenge, Pranayama, and I challenged myself and everybody else to practice a different pranayama each day. And I also challenged myself to post a pranayama of the day, Monday through Friday. Did I do that? I missed Thursday. I'm not gonna lie. I missed posting the pranayama for Thursday, and I don't even think I practiced anything Thursday. I'm being honest. It's not very yogi of me, but I'm being completely honest. I totally neglected that on Thursday. Whatever. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, I did it though. So this week's wellness challenge, of course, I've been following the 8 limbs of yoga, and we are on Pratyahara, which is sensory withdrawal, withdrawing from senses. And this is hard as we are in a world full of things to perceive and take in constantly. I'm in a constant state of perception. I'm in a constant state of stimulus. There's always something to perceive, to entertain me, to watch, to listen to taste, to hear, to see. It's always something. So maybe it's good to withdraw from the senses sometimes, to be a little bit more simple in what we're doing. Because withdrawing from the senses sometimes can make you appreciate the sense more. Like if you go some time without tasting anything, when you do taste something, it's phenomenal. Versus if you're tasting something all the time, you might not be able to appreciate it as much. Happiness can't exist without sadness. Excitement can't exist without boredom. And so on. I don't know. This week's challenge. Okay, so Y'all, I have some habits on me. I be on my phone watching stuff in bed before I go to sleep, if I ever do go to sleep. Again, not very yogi of me. I confess my faults. Anyways, I would like to practice this before I go to bed, or at least when I get into bed. Normally, when I get into bed, I'm on my phone watching something. I'd say for 5 minutes when I get into bed, just lay down. I'm not gonna fall asleep, but I'm just gonna lay down, close my eyes, and just be in silence for 5 minutes and just withdraw from the senses, withdraw from the show that I'm watching or my phone, or if I'm talking on the phone, withdraw from that. Just to turn my attention inward. And maybe this will help me sleep better, because it's a serious issue. I'll report back to you, but I'm going to do this every single night when I get into bed, and I can go back to whatever I was doing before if I desire that. But delay, don't deny, right? Anyways, it's been lovely talking with everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You're listening to The Perfect Prana Show on 88.1 FM WCRX, Saturdays at 10 a.m., Sundays at 9 a.m. Also available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, where I post extended versions. Before I go, let me leave you with a quote. I've been waiting for this moment. I took a picture of my kombucha bottle because I was like, okay, I'm going to use this for my quote. And Andrew Pyle Plummer, some guy in Omaha, Nebraska, said, if you live your life loving yourself and others, you can never go wrong. That's the words of enlightenment for the week. With that being said, the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Namaste.